Hi, welcome to Gene Rants. I'm Gene. You're seeing this. I'm recording it the day before you're seeing it, so you're seeing this 2 days after the special election in Tennessee that everybody was talking about. Well, especially, I guess, here in Tennessee, where I live. The race, well, the polls were showing the Republican ahead by Matt Van Epps by only 2 points in a district that Trump had won by 22 points. And as it turns out, as we all know by now, the Republicans still won by 9 points, which I still think is pretty good. But some, well, including the Democrat, Afton Bain, saying that, well, it's actually in a way a victory because Van Epps did not win by 22 points. But that 22 points, that was Donald Trump in the presidential election. And it makes a difference, I believe, whether we're talking about Donald Trump, whether Trump is actually running, as happened in 2024, the presidential campaign, but also the regular midterm elections. You don't have in the midterm elections the turnout that you have in a regular presidential election. And then in a special election, you have even less. And you have the the Democrats, they were really fired up. I think $2 million were contributed to this election by Democrats from all over the country. And Afton Bain still lost. A victory is a victory. But what I want to talk about today is what I mentioned in the title. Well, I'm going to show you a section of Afton Bain's concession speech after she lost. And I'm going to, I linked to the whole speech. It's about 7 minutes. I linked to it if you want to watch it, but there's really not a whole lot to watch. I would say over half, maybe 70% of this speech, 60% is just thanking all her supporters and saying, wow, how many of you turned out, and we did really well, and we showed that this red district is, the Republicans wanted it not to be competitive, and we showed that it is competitive. To me, a nine-point loss is not competitive, and that's in a special election. We'll see what happens in the regular election. But what really struck me was, and then I'm just going to show you less than a minute of this speech, because I show before the speech is thanking everybody, and the rest of the speech after this little short segment is pretty much, how we're not done yet. We're going to get out there and we're going to fight. We're going to get out there and we're going to fight for everything that her district just voted against. She lost. So I guess there's good news and bad news if you're a Democrat. The bad news is you lost. The good news is that you're going to have a better representative, because Van Epps, the Republican, will be a better representative. But I want to show you this part of this speech, because what's important about it, you see, usually in a concession speech, I mean, you must have seen, Lord knows how many, especially when you get to be my age, you see a lot of concession speeches, the loser, and obviously it's painful when you lose, but what traditionally happens is the loser is that we all come together. That used to be the rule, unless you're a Democrat, I guess, these days, because we all come, that whoever loses calls the winner to concede. That's what Hillary Clinton did when Trump won in 2016. That had to be very, very, well, we know it was very, very painful, but she called him up, and she, in her concession speech, she said, I just called I just called Donald Trump to concede the election and to congratulate him on his victory, and that he now, yada, 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 he now will be representing all of us, and we must all pull together behind the president, or whatever. Just a very generous, that we don't like sore losers in this country. And, here's what Afton, this is from her concession speech. This is what she said about her phone call to the victor, Matt Van Epps.
Held this state hostage for decades. And tonight, because I believe in Southern hospitality, I called the Congressman-elect, Matt Van Epps, and I had one question for him. What will define what happens next? Do not let the Affordable Care Act subsidies expire. Do not raise healthcare costs for working families in Tennessee. But this isn't the end of our story. It's not even close.
That to me, I mean, that is a concession speech for the ages. To call the person who just defeated you, not to congratulate on a victory, not to apparently, well, I don't know what her tone of voice was in the phone call. We just heard it in her concession speech. But to call him up and urge him to, well, basically to urge him to do what she wanted to do if she had won. I mean, does that make any sense? Well, I guess it does if you're a Democrat, but to me, that is not what you call, what we call in this country, good sportsmanship. When you lose, you lose. And however bitter you may feel, and however, you say to your, well, as she said in the last part of her campaign, well, we lost this time, we'll do better next time. And it's, you could be, angry and say, we're going to fight. But when you call the actual candidate, the winning candidate on the phone, you're supposed to be a good loser. And you call to, well, first of all, to concede your loss. And second of all, to congratulate the person on the winner on his victory. And maybe she did that, but she said, I called him up and I asked this and this. So she didn't say that she conceded or that she congratulated him. So I'm assuming people can correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the entire concession speech. And she did not say in the speech that she congratulated him. She just called him up and said, I have one question. Well, you don't call the candidate, the winning candidate up with a question in the aftermath of an election. The loser congratulates the winner. And put it this way, at least be polite, and at least remember that the whole country is watching how you are going to act. But that's what I put in the title. Democrats, they are so angry these days. That's all I hear coming out from. I mean, she wasn't angry, I guess, when she was saying, well, thank you all for supporting me. I mean, in the early part of the speech, if you take the trouble to watch it, thanking all and look how we did better than we expected, and so and so. But mainly, it was an angry speech, and that's it's okay. I have no problem really if it's an angry speech. But when you call the candidate, you should not be angry. It was an election. They both made their case, and she didn't win. She lost. It's as simple as that. And there's you don't gain anything with sour grapes. To be bitter about it, and especially to basically nag. That's what she did. She nagged the candidate and say, just call on and say, I want you to do so and so and so and so. I don't know. I guess it just really struck me that Democrats, just the way they are these days. And it reminds me, I'm old enough to remember, I guess I'll end on this, that earlier elections when Hubert Humphrey lost to Richard Nixon, that was not particularly a happy moment for Hubert Humphrey or for Democrats. But actually, that's what he was, that's his nickname that he was known by, Hubert Humphrey, the Happy Warrior, because that's what he was. Ronald Reagan, same thing. I would call him a happy warrior, win or lose. And I guess we're not going to see that anymore from Democrats. But I think we will see it from Republicans. And I guess that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Your comments, welcome in the comments section below the video, especially whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or independent, which is what I am. Whichever way you voted, I'd love to hear your comments in the comments section if you live, and especially if you voted in the 7th District, Congressional District of Tennessee. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it, but most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again, and until I do see all of you again, bye.